Alright, what's up everybody, it's Ismail. And today we're tackling a big one, how can save $10,000 this year. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, 10 grand? That sounds like a mountain to climb, especially if you feel like you're already stretched thin. But here's the deal, it's absolutely doable. And I'm going to break down exactly how, step by step, without you having to live on instant noodles, or give up everything you enjoy. This isn't about extreme frugality. It's about smart strategic moves that add up. Big time. Want to save $10,000 this year without sacrificing your lifestyle? Whether you're a high earner who sees money come and go, or just trying to manage money better and finally get ahead, this guide is for you. I've seen these strategies work for so many people and they can work for you too. We're going to make this simple, actionable, and maybe even a little bit fun. Think of this as your personal roadmap to hitting that $10,000 goal. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan. Let's go. Alright, first things first, let's talk about the goal itself, $10,000. Now, if you just stare at that number, it can feel pretty intimidating, right? It's like looking at the top of a skyscraper from the ground floor. But here's the secret, you need to break it down. We're not going to try and save $10,000 in one go. Instead, we're going to slice it into manageable, bite-sized pieces. This is crucial because it shifts your mindset from, this is impossible, to, okay, I can do that. So, $10,000 in 12 months. Let's do the math. That works out to be roughly $833.33 per month, see? Already that feels a little less daunting than $10,000. We've taken a big, scary number and made it something you can wrap your head around on a monthly basis, but we can go even further. What does $833 a month look like on a daily basis? It's about $27.77 per day. Let's call it $28 a day. Now think about that, $28. For many people, that's a couple of fancy coffees, a lunch out, or an impulse buy online. When you see it as $28 a day, suddenly the path to $10,000 a year doesn't seem like some far-off dream. It becomes a series of small daily decisions. Can you find $28 in your daily spending to redirect towards your savings goal? I bet you can, and we'll explore how in the next few chapters. Okay, so you've broken down your big goal. You know you need to find about $833 a month. The next logical question is, where is that money going to come from? And to answer that, you absolutely track your spending. I can't stress this enough. You can't save what you don't track. It's like trying to lose weight without ever stepping on a scale or knowing how many calories you're eating. You're just flying blind, hoping for the best. And that's not a strategy for success. Many people, even high-income earners, have a vague idea of their big expenses. Rent or mortgage, car payments, utilities. But it's the smaller, everyday purchases that often go unnoticed and add up significantly. Those daily coffees, the lunches out, the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for, the little impulse buys on Amazon, they create a slow leak in your financial boat. Tracking illuminates all of this. It brings everything out into the open, no more hiding. So, how do you do it? Thankfully, we live in an age where technology makes this incredibly easy. There are tons of budgeting apps out there. Mint, YNAB, You Need a Budget, Personal Capital, Copilot, Empower, the list goes on. Many of these apps can link directly to your bank accounts and credit cards, automatically categorizing your transactions. This means you don't have to manually log every single purchase, which, let's be honest, most of us wouldn't stick with for long. Set it up once and let the app do the heavy lifting. Alright, you've diligently tracked your spending for a month, you've got the data. Now comes the part where we turn that data into actual savings. This is where we identify your money leaks, those sneaky, often unnecessary expenses that are draining your bank account without you even realizing it, or without providing proportional value. The good news is that cutting just 3 or 4 of these common leaks can often save you hundreds of dollars a month, getting you a significant way towards that $833 target. Let's talk specifics. One of the biggest culprits I see, unused or underused subscriptions, streaming services you signed up for a free trial and forgot to cancel, gym memberships you haven't used in months, software subscriptions for hobbies you've abandoned. Go through your bank and credit card statements with a fine-tooth comb. Seriously, print them out if you have to, and highlight every recurring charge. Ask yourself for each one. Do I use this regularly? Does it bring me real value? If the answer is no, or a hesitant maybe, it's time to cancel. Cutting just 2 or 3 subscriptions at $15 to $20 each can save you $30 to $60 a month right there. Next up, let's look at food and drinks, particularly convenience spending. That daily Starbucks habit? If a fancy coffee costs you $5 5 days a week, that's $100 a month. What if you switched to making coffee at home on most days and treated yourself to Starbucks just twice a week? That's an instant $60 saved, same with eating out. So, you've identified your money leaks, and you're starting to free up some cash. Fantastic. But here's a pro tip, something that the financially savvy swear by: automate your savings. Don't rely on willpower alone to move that money into your savings account each month. Life gets busy, things come up, and it's all too easy to say, oh, I'll do it later. And then later never comes, or the money gets spent on something else. Automation takes the decision-making and the potential for procrastination out of the equation. Here's how it works. You set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to a dedicated savings account, preferably a high-yield savings account, to make your money work even harder for you. This transfer should happen regularly, ideally on the same day you get paid. So, if you get paid on the 1st and 15th, set up a transfer for, say, $417 on each of those days to hit your $833 monthly goal. Or, if you get paid weekly, divide it by 4. The amount and frequency can be tailored to your pay cycle. The beauty of this is that the money is moved, you even have a chance to see it or spend it. You're essentially treating your savings like any other bill, like your rent, your mortgage, or your car payment. It's a non-negotiable expense, but instead of paying a company, you're paying yourself. This is the core principle of pay yourself first. We've talked a lot about cutting expenses and optimizing your spending, and that's absolutely crucial. But there's another side to the savings equation that often gets overlooked, and that's increasing your income. Think about it. There's a limit to how much you can cut, but theoretically there's no limit to how much you can earn. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and get a second full-time job, but even a relatively small boost in your income can dramatically accelerate your progress towards that $10,000 goal. Sometimes the easiest way to save more isn't just about spending less. It's about having more money to work with in the first place. If you can bring in an extra $200, $300, or even $500 a month, that can go directly into your savings without requiring you to make further cuts to your current lifestyle. This can make the whole process feel less restrictive and more empowering. So, let's brainstorm a few practical ways you might be able to boost your income strategically. Consider your skills and hobbies. Is there something you're good at or something you enjoy doing that other people would pay for? Maybe you're great at writing, graphic design, social media management, or even just handyman tasks. Websites like Upwork, Fiverr, or TaskRabbit make it easier than ever to find freelance projects or gig work that you can do in your spare time, often from the comfort of your own home. Even a few hours a week dedicated to a side hustle can make a real difference. Another option, if you have the space, is to monetize assets you already own. Do you have an extra room in your house or apartment? Renting it out on a platform like Airbnb, even just for a few weekends a month, could bring in a significant chunk of extra cash. Alright, you're making progress. You've set your goal, you're tracking spending, plugging leaks, automating savings, and maybe even boosting your income. But here's a critical piece of the puzzle that keeps everything on track. Setting and reviewing monthly milestones. Saving $10,000 in a year is a marathon, not a sprint. And like any marathon, you need checkpoints to gauge your progress, stay motivated, and make adjustments if you start to veer off course. Think about it. If your goal is $833 saved per month, then after month 1, you should have around $833 in your savings account. After month 3, you should be aiming for roughly $2,500. After 6 months, you're halfway there at $5,000. These milestones serve as mini-goals within your larger objective. Hitting them provides a sense of accomplishment and reinforces that your plan is working. It's incredibly motivating to see that balance grow month after month. So, at the end of each month, schedule a little financial check-in with yourself. It doesn't have to take long, maybe 15 to 30 minutes. During this check-in, review your savings account balance. Did you hit your monthly target? If yes, fantastic. Take a moment to acknowledge that success. Now, for those of you who want to really kick your savings into high gear, or perhaps if you're finding it a bit challenging to hit that $833 monthly target through small tweaks alone, I want to introduce a more intensive strategy, the No Spend Challenge. This might sound extreme to some, but it can be incredibly effective, not just for saving a chunk of money quickly, but also for resetting your spending habits and raising your awareness about your consumption patterns. So, what is a no-spend challenge? It's exactly what it sounds like. For a defined period, it could be a week, a weekend, or if you're really ambitious, an entire month, you commit to spending money only on absolute essentials. And I mean essentials, things like your rent or mortgage, utilities, essential groceries, not gourmet treats, and critical transportation costs to get to work. Everything else, takeout, coffee shop visits, new clothes, entertainment, impulse buys, is completely off limits. The primary goal, of course, is to save money. You'd be absolutely astonished at how much you can save in just 7 days of no discretionary spending. All that money you would have normally spent on non-essentials goes straight into your savings account. It can be a fantastic way to catch up if you've fallen behind on your monthly goal, or to give yourself a significant head start. For some, a no-spend week can easily save them a few $100s. But beyond the immediate financial boost, a no-spend challenge has powerful psychological benefits. It forces you to become hyper-aware of your spending triggers and habits. You'll start to notice all the little moments you typically pull out your wallet without a second thought. It also encourages creativity. We've covered a lot of ground, focusing on discipline, tracking, cutting back, and boosting income. These are all essential for hitting that $10,000 savings goal. However, it's equally important to acknowledge your hard work and celebrate your successes along the way. If the entire journey feels like nothing but deprivation and sacrifice, you're much more likely to burn out and give up. That's why incorporating small, planned rewards is a smart strategy for long-term success. Now, when I say reward yourself, I don't mean go out and blow a huge chunk of your hard-earned savings on an impulsive splurge. That would completely defeat the purpose. The key here is to reward yourself wisely, and in a way that aligns with your overall financial goals. Think of it as a planned, budgeted treat that acknowledges your progress and keeps your motivation high, rather than an emotional reaction that derails your efforts. A good way to approach this is to tie rewards to specific milestones. For example, remember those monthly check-ins we talked about? If you consistently hit your $833 savings target for 3 consecutive months, maybe that's when you allow yourself a modest, predetermined reward. Perhaps it's a nice dinner out at a restaurant you've been wanting to try, but you budget for it. Buying a book you've had your eye on, or enjoying a guilt-free experience like a movie or a day trip. The reward itself should be something you genuinely enjoy, but it shouldn't be so extravagant that it significantly sets you back. So there you have it. A comprehensive step-by-step guide to saving $10,000 this year. We've covered everything from breaking down your goal and meticulously tracking your spending, to plugging those pesky money leaks, automating your savings like a pro, strategically boosting your income, staying motivated with monthly milestones, supercharging your efforts with no-spend challenges, and rewarding yourself wisely along the way. It might seem like a lot, but each step builds on the last, creating a powerful system for financial success. Saving $10,000 in a year is totally possible, even enjoyable, when done with purpose. It's not about luck. It's about having a plan and consistently executing it. The strategies we discussed today are designed to be actionable and adaptable to your specific situation. The most important thing is to start. Don't wait for the perfect time, because that time rarely comes. Start now, even if it's with small changes, and a year from today, you'll thank yourself when you see that $10,000 or more sitting in your savings account. I truly believe that anyone can achieve this goal if they put their mind to it and follow these principles. It's about making conscious choices and prioritizing your financial well-being. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more financial freedom tips, and share it with someone who's ready to grow their savings. Let me know in the comments which tip you're going to implement first, or if you have any other great savings strategies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you